have you been in Austria now?
9 years.
How do you find the Austrians in terms of that Britishness, that terms of...
They're much more... the big shock for British people is how much the Austrians complain. I know it's a real cliche.
Yeah.
But they will tell you what they think. So, in the same way, you never answer, how do you do? I'm fine. In Austria, in England, you would say, how was your meal? And you would say, fine, even if you're about to go to the toilet and throw up. Yeah. Whereas here... you will be, you'll ask an Austrian how was their meal, and they'll give a full breakdown of what they liked.
Even if the waiter asks, right?
Especially if the waiter asks. And I find it quite shocking. I was like, that's so rude. I can't believe you've just told the waiter.
I'm totally with you. I had the same experience. Yeah. We were eating. I was with my fiance's family, and we were all eating. And there's a place they go to a lot, which I don't know if it makes it better or worse. But they asked, "How was this? How was the meal?" And they said, we were all talking about how it was a little salty. And then he goes, it was a little salty. Yeah. And she goes, oh, the chef must be in love. And I'm like, what is going on here? I guess that's what they say.
They do say that.
But I was just being buried in cultural cliches. And they all laughed about it. And I guess they told the chef it was too salty. But it's like, I don't even know. For me, I'm like, I even worked in restaurants too. And I would ask, how is everything? And 99% of the time, it would be, everything's great. Or it would be, this is wrong, and they would be saying it because they need me to do something.
Yeah,
I'm not just giving feedback. They need me to bring them a ketchup or bring them a new dish because this is cold, or this is like, it's like, this is wrong, do something about it. Not just like, this is wrong, just for information.
But the Austrian response to that, but if you call them out on it, would be to say, well, I'm giving them useful feedback, so next time it won't be so salty. And that, dear Englishman, is why your country's rubbish.
At food, at least. Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's why.
Or in general.
Well, probably both.
Wow.
I've never really pushed that because I fear they might tell me what they think. But so that's useful feedback. That's why everything works in Vienna, because they're not holding back. This is what the theory is.
Do you find that translates over to personal relationships as well?
Yes. So I've now looked, because it's quite shocking. At first, I was quite shocked by all this. But now if I ask, what do you think of my new haircut?
Yeah.
For example, it's
fantastic.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, especially the second
version. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, then I'm
Luke
told.
had longer hair. This is Luke, yeah.
Yeah. He's got shorter hair now.
He's got shorter hair now. If you're listening, it's shorter.
It meets with Austrian approval.
Yeah.
You had to go through 2 iterations. But at least I know where I stand on the whole haircut thing.
You got your haircut, and she goes, it's a good start.
Yeah. But we've reached the next level now, where I will say, well, what did you think of the haircut or the meal? And she'll say, it looks fine, or it tasted good. And I go, but do you mean that? Because that's a very English response.
Yeah.
But do you really mean that? Of course I mean that.
Why would I have wasted the time to say it if I didn't
it'd be very inefficient for me to tell you not what I think.
So are you going her way, or is she going your way culturally in the exchange?
Well, I think we just reached an understanding where we each... So the answer to... I still can't tell a restaurant what I think of the food.
Right.
I'll be sitting in a restaurant and someone has invited us for dinner and they say, what was the food like? I think it's very rude, and I can't do it. Say, well, actually, this was a bit off and I didn't like it was too salty.
Yeah.
Right, I just can't do that. That would. And
they're going to pay for it?
And they're going to pay for it. I'm like, I can't do that. So the question we've developed is, would you order it again?
Uh-huh.
Which is the way around that. So I'll say it was fine. That could cover anything for I'm about to throw up. So it was absolutely the best meal I've ever had. We're within that range. So the way to circumvent this problem is for me to be asked, would you order it again? Which the answer is either yes or no.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah.
Can't get around that.
Although I just thought of this, maybe my response will now be, no, would you order it again?
I don't know, would you? Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. You're Britishing it. I would order it if I needed to throw up for some reason. I would order it, and then I would throw up, and it would be lovely.
Britishing it.
Yeah.
I like that. Oh, British stuff.
But to be honest, I think, and on the British to Austrian spectrum, I'm not sure if it's a spectrum like that. I don't know if there's anybody that's more polite than the British or anybody that's more direct than the Austrians, but we'll call it a spectrum.
I think the Germans are more direct than the Austrians.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. I think the Austrians, at least this is what they tell themselves, are more charming.
I would tend to agree.
Yeah, I think that is probably right.
Our Austrian producer is nodding. Paul, you think so?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
They're a little bit funnier. Yeah.
They're a bit funnier. They're a bit cooler.
Yeah.
I went to see a film yesterday. on this subject called Die Heinzels. I don't know if you've seen Die Heinzels.
Die Heinzels?
Die Heinzels. It's a children's film. But the point of this is there's these little Heinzelmänner who are like elves.
Okay.
And they, anyway, this is the characters in the film. Elves, gnomes. If you're in Scotland, they're brownies. They're the little figures that come in at night and do all your work for you.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that's that fairy tale. Okay.
Yeah.
They're those characters. Anyway, the point of the film was the Heinzels are from Cologne. Yeah.
Yeah.
These are the characters. They're the Cologne Heinzels, and in this film, they meet the Viennese Heinzels.
No.
And so you get this amazing insight into how the Austrians see the Germans and vice versa.
Wow.
So as well as the accents, they do amazing Viennese accents, like super over-the-top Viennese accents and words. It's incredible. It's you can do it as a language lesson. You should take your language class to see the Heinzels.
Die Heinzels.
Die Heinzels.
Is Heinzel
part 2.
Part 2?
Well, part 1 didn't involve the Cologne ones.
Got it.
Yeah?
Will I be lost if I missed part 1, or will I
No,
be able to catch
I
up?
watched part 2. I was able to follow it. This is not like picking up halfway through a box set of...
I'm sorry, where are we here? How did they get magical powers?
How did they get
Austrian wire.
This is not the Austrian wire, just to dampen your expectations. It's a hilarious children's movie.
I love it, but you can't unavoidably. There's cultural critique because there's a German and an
there's an
Austrian.
absolute German Austrian, and I went with it completely blind. As I thought, all right, we're going to the Heinzels. I might take the children next week. No, I didn't. I went to it completely. I had no idea what was going on, and these Austrians turned up. I was like, this is hilarious. Actually, specifically Viennese turned up.
Yeah.
So there's all this joke about them eating Zuckel in the Prater and things like that. Yeah, and the Cologne Heinzels are like shaking their heads.
Okay.
But the Austrian ones were definitely cooler.
Yeah.
They were cooler, funnier, didn't work as hard, and just pissed about. Because the thing about the Heinzels is traditionally they do all the work.
Yeah.
The Austrian ones didn't do all the work. They were like a breakaway sect of Heinzels who just were having a laugh.
They got really good government assistance and started to sort of coast.
They did. Yeah.
They got full benefits and they were like, yo, knew that. Trying to pretty good. Is that okay? Was that pretty good? I know how it sounds. Like I know how the Austrian. I can't really speak Austrian dialect, but I know when I hear it because I go to the countryside with my fiance because her family's from the countryside.
World, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh
my God.
Yes, it is. Okay. I'll paint a picture. We'll get back to the spectrum of Britishness to Austrians, but here's a micro story from being in. I was in a little town in the countryside where she's from. Everyone knows everyone. So they know that I don't belong. I swear I walk into a place and it's just a little bit of a head turn. And then the way I'm speaking loud English, I can't help it. My American dialect is loud English. And
we call that foreign. That's how you communicate with foreigners.
Loud, yes. I would slow. If I go slower and louder, do you understand me? So I'm in there speaking loud English like you do. Everyone around us is going, and they're drinking in the middle of the day, of course. And she knows a few of them. You know what I mean? Someone who like fixed her bathroom. Somebody who she buys this from. Went to school with. Hi. And they're all looking at me. We're having a nice lunch the whole time. And she talked to them briefly in German, but didn't really introduce me because they're just kind of like that. And this guy's kind of drunk. And as we get up, he musters what I think is like he doesn't have a lot of English. It seems by the way he says this, and he just looks at me and goes, "Nice to see you." Like he just pushes out this English, and I'm like, I could tell it was buried in it was so much like, "Get away! You're stealing our women," kind of. There's so much buried in that. Nice to see you. It was Arnold.
What did you say back?
It was thin. I waved. I didn't even. Yeah, I didn't even. I can't. I don't. Anyway, but yeah, the countryside is a whole different world. I do prefer Vienna, and I will tell anybody who asks me. They go, "Do you spend time in the countryside, or do you spend time in Vienna?" I go, "I prefer Vienna." I've been to the countryside in America too. It's the same. It's like it's not that.
I was going to say your description of walking into a bar in Austria sounds like a cowboy film.
Yeah, exactly.
I suppose the saloon doors closing behind
there
you.
ain't enough room in this town for two of us. Oof. No, I got a lost track there. You see, when I get the words in there, I lose it. Yeah. I'm gonna get it down. I'm gonna make fun of the Austrians in their language. Is the goal of mine.
That's a brilliant aspiration.
I want to speak German on stage.
Yeah.
Have you ever thought of speaking German on stage?
I have thought about it, and I chickened out at the very last minute. I was signed up and everything, and unfortunately, the show was going to be done in 2 languages. And having signed up to do the German, I think the day before, I totally bottled it.
Bottled it, you say?
Yes, bottled it.
How does that mean to you? Bottled it.
Bottled it, chickened out.
Okay.
Have I not improved that by adding another?
No, chickened out, I know.
Chickened out,
chickened out, you said
bottled
first.
it.
Bottled it, for me, means you put it away. I guess that, yeah. Like you bottle up your emotions. So bottling it means you're not doing something?
Well, bottling up our emotions is my default state.
I understand that.
I don't need to explain that.
No, not at all.
No, bottling it would mean being scared and no longer going for it.
Yeah. Oh.
So I put the chicken in a bottle. And I didn't do it in German, is what I'm trying to tell you.
Bottled chicken does sound like a British dish, unfortunately. You guys love wet meat.
Moving swiftly on.
And I will not moving swiftly on.
Also, sorry, but getting bottled for me sounds like somebody smashes a bottle over your head.
True,
like in a bar fight.
It's a Friday night.
It's really not helping. Yeah, there's too many things it could be.
Yeah,
we have three different definitions right here. For me, I'm like, my father's emotions are bottled up. Like he's all bottled up. He's angry, but he won't say it.
Yeah.
So you uncork it.
And then unsurprised, when he opens the bottle, so do the emotions come out. He's doing great now. Anyway.
I feel I've released a bit of a genie from this.
You unbottled why I'm a comedian. Whoops. So...
Speaking of Vienna, Freud.
Yeah.
Tell me about your.
It's getting slippery in here. Yeah, it's getting on the Freudian slip and slide right now. No, so you signed up to do comedy in German, and you chickened out, bottled it up.
I bottled it out. I can't even say it anymore. All right, I didn't do it.
Why not? Tell me.
What
happened?
The excuse I gave myself was that I'd not really done any preparation, but that's never stopped me before.
Yeah.
But the thought of going on stage being unprepared, I thought it would be funny to be speaking a language badly in front of other people. But I think you've got to be really, really good at it to do that.
Yeah, I think
You've got to know what you're doing. And I was mainly worried about being kind of spontaneous. So I didn't want to go on and sound like I was just acting, learning a script and saying words.
Yeah.
And then if there was some response from the audience.
Right. That's part of it. Yeah.
That is part of the show, right?
Is to be a little spontaneous.
Be a little spontaneous. I thought it's a bit lame just to go on and learn 5 minutes or whatever it was, 10 minutes.
And you thought you wouldn't have the fluency to...
I thought I didn't have the confidence in my own abilities to deal with that.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to do was kind of slip into English or something. So... but it was pure cowardice. I should have done it. And, I tell myself that I quite like going on and failing.
Right.
So that would have been the ultimate.
Yeah.
That was like, I called my own bluff there.
Yeah.
And,
Called your own
chickened
bluff.
out.
I hate that. Yeah. Did you end up doing the same sort of set but translated? That's always what I would always wonder when people do comedy in 2 different languages. Is it translated?
Well, it was a long time ago, and actually, I think that's what happened. I was going to write I was going to make it my target to write a set in German
that would be funny in German.
That would be written in German to
alone.
be performed in German.
Yeah.
And then I didn't, and thought, well, I'm now just going to be translating my set. I don't like to call it that into German. And that's not what I wanted to do. So I think, and so I mucked it up basically.
So instead of the problem had happened the week before when you hadn't prepared.
Yeah, basically I hadn't done my homework.
Yeah.
And I don't know the German for the dog ate my homework.
Yeah.
So I couldn't go and do it. But it's a brilliant ambition.
How did you learn? Speaking of German,
how did I learn German?
Yeah,
my mother's German.
Oh, we discussed this before. Yeah, but actually, it's actually good to be a forgetful person on a podcast.
Well, I was going to say, for the purposes of this,
it's great.
My mother's German.
Get out of here! Tell me more. Tell me what you told me at lunch 3 weeks ago. German.
The food is fine, I said, but I wouldn't order it again.
So she was German. So you grew up. Did you speak German to her?
No. So reversing the therapist-patient roles. I grew up in England with an English-speaking father and a German-speaking mother. She spoke to me and my sister in German, and we replied in English.
No way.
And once you build a relationship in a language and in two languages, you can't change it.
Yeah.
It's so strange.
I've heard that.
It's a very weird thing. So that's how we still interact.
So when did you start speaking German or learning German in school?
Well, I did it at school and stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously I have cousins and things, so I go and see them.
So you had a leg up on.
And actually, when I was a child, preschool, I think 3 or 4, that kind of age, we went for an extended, we spent the summer in Germany.
Okay.
And I came back not being able to speak English.
No way.
Yeah, so there was a period, when you're that age, when you're learning a language.
Yeah, you're all spongy.
Yeah, that period, I came back, and at which point my father, who I think had probably come for a bit and then gone home because he had to go to work, said, right, we're not doing that again. Because he couldn't understand this weird German-speaking child that had come back. Are you sure you brought my son back?
Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, so that's
an English man, especially of that generation, being like, I don't want this kid.
It must be a bit strange to send away your child.
Comes back sounding like the end of me.
And he comes back sounding like, sounded like,
Bracket, parentheses, you have 2 children.
That's right.
And how are they being raised linguistically?
Thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
So our household language is English. So my wife is Austrian. She speaks German with the children. I've always spoken English with them. Mm-hmm. And they started off by answering me in German. Mm-hmm. And because I can understand what they're saying, I would respond in English. And we carried on like that. And then I became worried that, oh dear, does that mean they're not going to speak English and they'll be in the same position that I was? But fortunately, suddenly it flipped, and I can't remember when or why even, but they started to speak to me in English.
When they're still quite young. They're quite young now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not a brilliant comparison, because here in Vienna, they learn such good English in school already. In kindergarten and school, they're already being exposed to English. So it's, whereas in England in the 1970s, it wasn't like you had to pick German old. When you're a bit old. Yeah. And, the 1970s, not the 1870s.
So, but I wonder if it was like the way we learned Spanish. It's like you start when you're in. We started when we were in 10,
right?
And we learned like a year of high school Spanish over the course of 3 years. Like, so we're not even doing sentences until the second year. Right. You know what I mean? Like we learned like blue, green, 1, 2, 3 for like a year. You know. And so we never really spoke, you know what I mean? Like we would do, I don't know. I think my German now after a year is better than my Spanish was after 6 in the US system. But your German was probably better than that.
Well, I happened to go to a school where we learned German from very early on. So there was only a couple of years where I wasn't being taught it.
Right. But you're cheating. I mean, you're cheating at home. Like you're getting extra help the way your kids are now, right?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. So are your kids doing really well in English?
They're too young to be assessed now. But
they're not even, just kind of like stars and hearts.
They're pretty good at it. Yeah, it's all stars and hearts and stickers. Stickers is the great currency for children. Yeah, they want, I
want to go back to that.
That's great, isn't it? I don't remember stickers. I remember... Oh, this is the 1970s. Stickers hadn't been invented.
Yeah, calligraphy and wax seals.
Wax seal. Some sort of feather and a bottle of ink. And that was lunch.
And that was lunch. I want to sort of start getting into the vocabulary that we're covering today, because we've been going for about 20 minutes or so. Is that right, Paul? Okay. And I want to. So this is going to be kind of the. I picture this as the in between sort of gooey middle of the podcast,
the transition phase,
where we're sort of We're sort of going to talk about the language of German.
Okay.
So when did you consider yourself fluent? I mean, like, when did, like, do you have, I need tips to learn, you know? So, like,
Well, I wouldn't consider myself fluent.
not even now.
Not really, no.
Okay.
As Paul will no doubt, he will grind his teeth when we start speaking German. Probably my grammar. For me, there's a big
What
distance.
about your grandmother? I'm sorry.
My
just
grandma.
kidding. Yeah, okay. Hey.
She's fine. Wouldn't order
I
again.
bet she's not. Luke, I've met, based on your 1970s vibe. Anyway, sorry. She's dead, folks. She's long dead.
News to me.
Yeah, I hate the to find out this way. So anyway, so your grammar is bad.
Yeah, I think my grammar. That's probably my. But anyway, so I just want to manage expectations.
Yeah. So where
When I start to mangle this beautiful language when we start speaking it in a few minutes.
I'm actually pumped that you're also
We'll be all
both
right.
foreign speakers. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be all right.
But let's talk
How
about.
hard can it be?
Come on, Hitler did it. What? Anyway, sorry.
He put on a Munich. Did he put on a Munich accent? So he doesn't. When he's doing his speeches, he's not really speaking with an Austrian accent.
No.
He's doing what he thinks is Munich.
But he's born in Upper Austria, and that's already a very Bavarian accent.
Okay. Anyway, moving on. I'll
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So how does German come into your life now? Do you work in German?
No, I work primarily in English.
Okay.
Which is fortunate.
Yeah.
And I mean, so primarily it's socially speaking to people, and I try at work to speak as much as I can in German to my colleagues, kind of just day-to-day stuff.
But in a meeting or whatever.
In a meeting, that'll all be in. That'll all be English.
And the legal language that you're looking at is all English.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Which is what you studied in. It makes sense.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. Yeah.
So you don't need it for work. You could be.
That's right. Yeah,
Totally.
I could be. I could not speak German and still work.
So tell me more about the relationship you have with the German language, because it's hard to track. You know, like.
Well, it's kind of
always a little bit there. Yeah,
it's always been. I mean, it's literally my mother tongue.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's always been there, and I studied it at school as well.
Right.
So
when did you feel the most? When did you feel that your German was the strongest, or did you ever make a conscious effort to improve it?
Well, yeah. So when I studied, then coming up to exams and stuff like that, I'd say it's probably the most accurate it's been. And then when I moved here, I did a sort of refresher course, as it were.
What kind of course?
At the university, probably similar to what you're doing.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, you don't know what I'm doing.
No,
you took which level did you take, or what was it like?
I can't remember.
Because mine is really. I mean, it's really classroomy, but there's no tests, you know. So you can just slack off, you know. It's not really it's a course for people it's a course for foreigners to learn it, and it's kind of like make of this what you will. And I'm like a kind of a bad student, who doesn't do his homework, you know. So and I at some point I realized tune in the end. I realized you're just fooling yourself if you blow off the homework. It's like you played yourself, dude. Like, you paid for this class, and now you're avoiding the teacher, hoping she doesn't call on you. It's like, bro, you want to talk, right? So I didn't respond very well to a classroom environment.
Interesting.
But when you took a refresher course, so when you moved here, did you have to try hard to be understood and converse?
No. That's the day-to-day stuff is fine for
when
me.
you're chatting.
I can get by day to day.
Okay.
I struggle with accents.
Okay.
So if we go to the countryside, for example, oh my God, I'm in trouble there.
Really is. Yeah. Okay.
And then sometimes in Vienna as well, if you get someone with really thick Viennese accent.
Where in Vienna do you hear the most thick Viennese accents?
Well, yesterday on the U4, some bloke, I think he was telling me to kind of F off and go home because I was speaking English and that I should speak Viennese or something. He was a strange man, and he was being quite rude to me. I don't know, but the lady next to him, who was Viennese, told him to shut up.
Nice.
Which I thought was good.
Sie doch still, or sie still, or sie ruhig.
Sei ruhig.
Sei ruhig. Sei doch still. Sei ruhig.
Sei ruhig.
Sei ruhig.
No, she told him he was talking rubbish, and that he should be quiet. But as I say, I don't know what he was saying. Really,
Because he was speaking something.
it was like something about Wienerisch and Wiener and nur Wiener and blah blah blah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So he's mentioning Vienna in
He
particular.
was
Wiener für die Wiener.
something like that. Yeah, that sort of something like that. And I thought he was talking about sausages. Which I didn't say. I wish I had. There's lots of things I wish I had said.
Treppenwitz.
Oh, pardon? Oh, right,
Treppenwitz.
a spirit of the. Isn't that a French way of saying that? So, spirit of the stairs, or the
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that you...
the thing you
think
say
of the-
when you're at the bottom of the stairs.
Treppenwitz.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm adopting that. I'm going to add that to
What's
my...
a
One of my
band
favorite
name?
words.
Yeah, I think there's a French. I won't. I'm even worse at French. I think there's a
Oh,
French way of saying
same.
weird.
I
Yeah.
failed French.
Did you?
Yeah. They held me back a year because of that.
So coming back to me performing in German, I think that was my big fear, that something not like that would happen. But I wouldn't. Yeah,
yeah, someone would-
basically I'd have this massive Treppenwitz
Yeah.
a day after performing.
Yeah. So I didn't. We have the stairs jokes. Treppen stairs. Witz is joke. It's a joke
Yeah,
you think of on
that's
the
right.
stairs.
After you left the apartment
Yeah,
or wherever.
In America, we have a word for it. We say jerk store because in Seinfeld, it's the episode of Seinfeld where George thinks of the jerk store called "They're out of you" because someone says something about like the blank store called and they want their blank back or whatever. And he thought of a really good comeback like a day later.
Yeah.
So we would you could literally say in America, you literally say it was jerk store. It was such a jerk store moment.
Okay.
But Treppenwitz is awesome.
Treppenwitz is good.
And I want to get more of I want to be collecting these, Paul. These is there a word? Idioms?
They're idioms, yeah.
No, are you thinking the words that are built put together?
Or
Yeah.
compound words.
Compound words.
Compound words, yeah.
They're brilliant.
Compound words, yeah.
Well, that's what's great about German, isn't it? Right. Once you've got the basic. My mother's a German teacher as well, so she's taught.
Get outta here.
So she's got this whole kind of experience of teaching foreigners German, and it's really hard to start with because you've got to learn the rules. Which, as an English speaker, there are no rules, right? There's no.
Well, I guess not. Yeah.
No, there are no rules. But in German, it's written down, right? You go and look at Duden or wherever you want. Hammer grammar, it's written down. You need to learn that.
Yeah.
But then you're off.
Yeah.
And then the vocabulary is quite small compared to English.
The vocabulary is quite small compared to English.
But what they can do brilliantly is cobble together like Treppenwitz.
Yeah.
If that was English, there'd probably be some like half French, half Anglo-Saxon word that was only used in that context.
Right.
That you'd have to learn specifically. And then it would be irregular. And so you'd have to
Yeah.
know it or not. Whereas
Yeah.
German, you go, well, we know
Treppenwitz.
Treppenwitz.
Yeah, so I've had a little bit of that where I'll know half of one
Yeah.
word and I go, okay, so what about stairs is this talking about? What's it? Okay, stairs. Oh, joke. Okay, like right. And that's kind of a rewarding thing from learning more is you can be as you're decoding, you can be like, okay, well I have this. So on blanc or like, okay, what anpassen or like whatever, I know Essen, so ausessen. Okay, you want me to finish eating this? Anyway. Okay, so a few other words. I watched, my new strategy is I found this free, anyway, I'm watching Netflix in German. I'm watching The Empress, it's called, or Die Kaiserin. And I'm slowly watching it and looking up words I don't know. But I thought it would be good for you, the words that I've learned from this, because a lot of it at the beginning is surrounding marriage and proposals, etc. And you're married,
Yes.
And I'm getting married. And so these are important words to me as well. But I have a few questions. Hübsch. So what kind of pretty is this? It's pretty, but what kind of pretty? What is it? As opposed to schön, when are you using hübsch?
Schön, I would translate as more beautiful. And hübsch is a very hard word to pronounce. I get laughed
Hübsch,
at when I pronounce it. Hübsch is my best effort.
Paul?
It's not bad.
Not
Would you
bad.
hit me with hübsch?
Would you order it again?
Hübsch. Okay,
Yeah.
hübsch. And what kind of pretty?
Pretty, but it can be used, I would say, in quite a broad context. So it's not just like a pretty person, or pretty dress. You could almost say a thing is pretty.
A building can be hübsch.
A building can be.
Building and a view. I think it was
Yes.
used in context of a view.
Okay.
But it's more pretty.
Schöne Aussicht is better than hübsche Aussicht.
Schöne.
Hübsche Aussicht is more like a sleazebag that looks at an ass at a lake or something like that,
Nice, like,
So eine hübsche Aussicht. That's maybe...
So, but like it's like a really beautiful bleak or view. I would say something like das ist wunderschön.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Schön, wunderschön. I always hear that wunderschön, schön.
Yeah.
But hübsch, well, I'm looking at a really pretty building, really pretty vase, really pretty. Okay, home. Okay. Trieben as a verb. Trieben. Treiben. Danke. Drove, but it was used in different contexts. Drove or pulled
Forced or pushed.
Forced, pushed. Paul.
Treiben.
Treiben.
Well, it's in the context of marriage, it's fucking.
It's not. No, it's the context of this show.
Okay, because
This is the
wir
Empress we're
treiben
talking
es
about, yeah?
means you are fucking.
Cool. Okay.
We are
So.
fucking is wir treiben es.
Okay.
But
How
that's
colloquial.
very rude. That's rude.
Ah.
That's either you are very familiar with somebody or you wanna piss somebody off.
Cool. Okay.
Like
Very
friends, you can
Probably not-
totally say
not-
that, but with a stranger, they definitely will think that you are a very rude boy.
But it's good for comedy too. I mean, it's funny, like learning.
And for wedding speeches. Perfect.
Okay, so we basically got
Die hübsche
three.
Treibung is a beautiful compound word.
Oh, and then, but also it is like driving in the sense of like animals. Like
Got it.
the Auftrieb is, und der Abtrieb is when you're in the mountains and
Yeah.
you push the cattle up the mountains, it's Auftrieb. And Abtrieb is when you...
Die Auftrieb, die Abtrieb.
Ja.
Ja, nicht fahren. Ja, Auto fahren. Kuhtrieb. Ja. Eine Kuh triebt, ein Auto fahren.
When you're talking about cool Treiben, I perhaps,
I see.
perhaps a little bit. Perhaps we should be a little bit careful about.
Oh, this is really fun. I
This
love
is for
this.
For
This is the kind of thing they don't do in class. You know what I'm talking
That's
about?
right.
They don't say like, "Hey, just so you know, that
Yeah.
kind of also means fucking."
Yeah.
A few of these are very simple, but verrückt,
Verrückt, meaning nuts, crazy.
Nuts, crazy, but like as opposed to deppet, or is this more clinical?
So I'd say
Yes, because... so the literal, because it is a compound again, kind of.
Verrückt.
Verrückt. It's just something is askew. That would be the direct
Okay.
the translation.
She's
because
off, yeah.
Rücken.
No, but something is like shifted, you know?
Yeah,
like
okay.
Rücken, ich rücke meinen Sessel.
Yeah, okay. Ich rücke
Ist-
meinen Sessel.
Ja, ich verrücke ihn.
Deine Sessel
Aber
hast gerückt.
But that is not a crazy chair. But
Ja.
du bist verrückt,
Ja, du bist verrückt.
you're
then you're crazy.
shifted. You're
Yeah, yeah.
out of alignment.
Yes, yes.
You're wonky.
Would a
Exactly.
doctor say verrückt?
Like the,
Or like a psycho...
maybe in the 1950s.
I see. Okay, yeah, but it's like right, or in the time of Cece.
Yeah.
Okay, because they're threatening
In
to
what
send her.
context did it come up?
They're threatening to because she won't marry. They're threatening to send her to the Narrenhaus.
Oh, the nuts house.
yeah.
Narrenhaus, yeah,
The asylum.
Yeah, that's
yeah.
the...
Which brings new.
The depot would be more slangy and a bit ruder, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's just a
That's a
fool,
Viennese.
an idiot in general. Like,
And Depp.
du bist Depp, oder, ja, du bist deppert, oder
Yeah.
du bist ein Depp, Johnny.
Yeah. Johnny Depp, nice.
Literally, no,
Literally means
a friend
crazy
of mine
combo.
ran into Johnny Depp and did that
Johnny
to him
Depp.
on the in the airplane,
Say-
and he's like because every fucking Austrian or German that runs into Johnny Depp does that joke.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah,
Du bist Depp.
Yeah.
that's why he married the
Oi,
crazy
oi,
lady.
oi. Most of these are simple. Outside, draußen, Grasliken, Gräsliken, awful.
Hässlich.
Grauslich.
Grausliken, Grausliken.
Graus.
But kind of GRA with umlauts, SS.
Gräuslich.
Oh, grauslich is old school. Grauslich is nowadays. Grauslich.
Okay.
Sort of thing I'd have said in my childhood. it's that old, Gräuslich. We used to say Gräuslich, but now it's been updated to, it's like, Grauslich is Gräuslich 2.2.
I'm gonna put old fashioned. That's one of the dangers of
Yeah, that's
of
right.
learning German in this way. Is like I'm not gonna start talking like the lady and speak like Cece does.
It's a bit like learning your Greek from the Iliad and then going to Athens now.
I think it's a little bit more like learning my English from The Crown and then being like,
Yeah.
right?
Or from me.
Yeah, or from your ass. Yeah. Good. I think, yeah, that's about.
So it's quite a lot of insanity, and I've not seen The Empress.
I mean, in the first 20 minutes of the first episode, yes. It's like I'm going through it quite slowly. Have you ever done anything like that? Going through a show slowly?
No, like pausing it and...
Yeah.
No,
to learn
no.
language. Yeah, you just talk to your mom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Maybe I'll talk to your mom instead. Anyway, let's take a 2-second pause and come back. Sprechen Deutsch.
Jetzt reden wir Deutsch.
War nicht grauslich bis jetzt.
Wir reden.
Und
Auf
müssen
Deutsch
wir diese
jetzt.
Wörter benutzen, wenn es möglich ist? Oder?
Ja, bitte, ja.
Okay.
Wann du kannst, bitte verwende es. Und ich würde eine Frage mit
Okay, du.
Eine Wort.
Ja, und
Oder
dann
so.
ich versuche, mit diesen Wörtern zu antworten oder nicht. Ich versuche, Deutsch zu reden.
Alles Wurst, kein Problem. Okay?
Alles Wurst.
Alles Wurst. Alles
Wunderbar.
Wurst. Oh, ja. Ich bin weniger lustig auf Deutsch.
Jeder ist weniger lustig auf Deutsch.
Ja.
Ich bin weniger lustig auf Deutsch.
Das ist unmöglich.
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 Es
Ich bin mehr lustig auf Deutsch, weil
Du schon
ich bin
immer lustig
mehr lustig
warst.
Nein.
auf Deutsch, nein.
Weil auf Englisch, weil es ist nicht möglich, weniger lustig zu sein, wie ich auf Englisch. Ha, ha, ha.
Piu, piu, piu.
Luke, wie lange hast du verheiratet sein? Nein.
Bin ich verheiratet?
Ja, wie
Ich bin seit 2016 verheiratet.
2016.
Ja, fast 10 Jahren.
Und wie treffst du mit seiner Frau?
Wie habe ich meine Frau getroffen?
Getroffen, danke.
Ich habe meine Frau in Albanien getroffen.
In Albanien.
Ja. Ich habe einen alten Schulfreund und der hat in Albanien gearbeitet und ich habe ihn besucht. Auf Urlaub. Ich war in
Albanien.
Ich habe meinen Freund in Albanien besucht.
Aha.
Ich war
In
auf
Besuch,
Urlaub. Ich war noch nie in Albanien. Ich habe halt gedacht, ja,
Wie war Albanien?
sehr interessant.
Ja?
Ja. Ich war nur da für meine 3 oder 4 Tagen.
3 oder 4 Tage. Ja, okay.
Und, aber es war wir waren in ich habe ihn besucht, es war sehr nett und er hat am letzten Abend hat er gesagt, sollen wir etwas trinken gehen?
Ja.
Ich frage, ob eine meiner Arbeitskollegen mitkommen möchte.
Ja.
Und ich bin mit ihm in einem Bar gesessen und eine von seiner Arbeitskollegen hat mit uns getroffen und es war ein sehr gemütlicher Abend und nach vielleicht einer Stunde hat mein Freund gesagt, also ich lasse euch beide. Und so war's.
Ja.
Er hat mitgekriegt, dass wir mehr interessant sind miteinander und wollte miteinander erzählen.
Interessant miteinander,
Und
ja.
er war der dritte Rat.
Ja.
Sagt man auf Deutsch, oder?
Dritter Rad.
The third wheel. Der dritte
Ja,
Rat.
Dritter Rad.
das dritte Rad am Wagen, ich bin mir nicht sicher, was man da
Aber man,
Dritter Rad.
du verstehst, was ich
dritter Rad,
meine.
ja.
Raise a crowd.
Und wie lang kennst du seine Frau früh an die Antrag?
Bevor wir
Bevor wir
geheiratet haben,
bevor Antrag. Bevor die Antrag.
bevor ich gefragt habe.
Who do you
2
want
Jahre.
to propose to? To whom?
Before they proposed. Before you proposed to her. Wie lang?
2 Jahren.
2 Jahren.
Ja, ungefähr. Ich weiß nicht ganz genau. Ungefähr 2 Jahren.
Und sie wohnt. Woher wohnen sie?
Woher kommt sie?
Woher kommt sie?
Nein. Wann du hat getroffen, woher wohnt seine?
Wo wohnte sie, als ich sie getroffen
ja,
habe?
that's predator, right? Wer wohnte sie?
Ja, wo wohnte sie?
Danke.
Sie wohnte in Albanien.
In Albanien?
Ja, ich habe sie getroffen. Sie hat auch in Albanien gearbeitet. Und das heißt, sie hat da gewohnt. Aber ursprünglich ist sie aus Wien. Und deswegen für eine Weile haben wir...
Sie kommt aus Wien?
Sie kommt aus Wien, ja. Und für eine Weile müssten wir Long-Distance Relationship haben.
Fernbeziehung.
Eine Fernbeziehung.
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 So seeing.
Fernseher
Distance.
ist der TV.
Ja, ja.
Fernbeziehung ist der Long Distance
Beziehung.
Ja, fern is distance. Beziehung is relationship.
Oh, so
Fernseher is a long distance seer.
is Longseer. Fernseher.
Ja.
Fernbeziehung. Super. Okay.
Super, ja. Und das heißt, wir haben, ich bin sie in Albanien getroffen oder wir sind auch in Istanbul getroffen und dann sind wir zusammen
Und
gezogen.
wie? So I'm trying to antragen. Antragen is to propose. Is that correct? Antragen.
Einen Antrag machen.
Antrag machen. Antrag. Okay. Oh, okay. So I could, ich kann sagen, wie hast du Antrag machen?
Wie habe ich Antrag gemacht?
Wie hast
Habe
du?
ich ihr den Antrag gemacht?
Wie habe ich ihr den Antrag gemacht?
Ah, so, wie, ja.
Ich habe gefragt und sie hat geantwortet. und vielleicht kannst du schätzen, was ich gefragt
Aber
habe.
wo?
Und wie
und
hat sie-
wie und
Mit
Was?
Wörtern.
mit Wörter?
Aber ich habe das Wort treiben nicht benutzt.
Gut.
Ich habe gesagt, du bist sehr hübsch.
I can't. I need help with the funny things. This is hard.
Wollen wir eine Ehe machen? Wenn du
Schließen.
Schließen. Wenn du Nein sagst, kriege ich eine Wut.
Eine Wund.
Das wäre schlimm. Bitte sag,
Stopp, halt, stopp.
ich lese von Terence Vocabulist. Kann ich schnell etwas sagen?
Bitte.
Das Problem, wenn man Deutsch als Englischsprecher lernst, ist, dass die Österreicher und auch die Deutsche, würde ich sagen, benutzen viele englische Worte. Und das gibt, für mich ist das, es gibt zwei Probleme. Erstens, wenn ich ein englisches Wort während ich Deutsch spreche, benutze, weiß ich nicht, ob ich es mit einem englisches oder ein deutsches Akzent ausdrücken soll.
Aha, ja.
Das ist blöd. Und zweitens, wenn ich ein englisches Wort benutze, dann glaube ich, dass die anderen denken, dass ich kein Deutsch kann. Und, und ich bin faul und ich kenne das deutsche Wort nicht. Aber ich versuche, cool zu sein.
Oh ja.
Ja, das ist ein Problem. Cool.
Ja, es ist
Cool.
Cool, genau.
Es ist leider auch ein Problem mit Marketing,
Okay.
dass immer und immer mehr Marketing auf Englisch ist. Und das verwässert das Ganze noch mehr.
Ja.
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 .com, ja.
Hast du es verstanden?
Ja, ich habe verstanden.
Wunderbar.
Ja.
Wunderbar. Entschuldigung, ich habe.
Woher heiratet?
Wo haben wir geheiratet?
Ja.
Wir haben in Wien geheiratet.
In Wien?
Ja, es war sehr schön.
Es
eine
war
kleine
eine
Hochzeit, ganz klein.
kleine Hochzeit, kleine Ferien.
Ja, nur unsere Eltern und unsere Geschwister und Nichte und was Neffe? Neffe und Nichten.
Neffe, hörst du mich? Ja.
Aber es war sehr schön,
Sehr schön, sehr klein.
Sehr
Warum klein?
weil wir haben es ganz schnell organisiert.
Ja.
Und das folgende Jahr haben wir eine großen Feier gehabt.
Ja.
Ja.
Ich bin jetzt Hochzeit planen und das ist schlimm. Das ist schwer, das ist lang, das ist teuer.
Ja.
Die Wiener haben ein perfektes Wort dafür. Zach.
Zach.
Das kenne ich nicht.
It's from C. You know, when something is like gummy
ziehen,
and it's like it drags out and it's like it's like molasses, you know, that is C. Like a chewy meat is zähes Fleisch. Aber zach is for us just those things metaphorized, basically.
How do you spell? Z-A-C-H?
Z-A-Z-H. Zach. Und C, but that's Viennese.
Super.
Austrian.
Wienerisch.
That's Austrian, generalized Austrian, I would say. And then
Mein
C is what the Germans would also understand.
Mein Freund auf der U4 würde das sehr
Schätzen, ja.
schätzen.
Schätzen.
Ja, wann ist deine Hochzeit? Dieses Jahr?
An der 5. Juli
Juli.
im Sommer.
Das hast du sechs Monaten.
Ja, 6 Monaten und ja, das ist Zach. Ja, ich hatte Zach verstanden. Zach. Ich hatte Zach verstanden. Nein, ja.
Zach,
ich habe
Zach
verstanden. Oh no, yeah. You go back to the English by accident. Ich habe Zach verstanden. Oh, verstanden.
Das ist ein Problem.
Ja.
Man drückt etwas auf Englisch aus und dann muss man wechseln auf Deutsch. Das ist furchtbar.
Ja.
Es wäre viel einfacher, wenn jeder Englisch reden würde.
Aber es ist auch, dass wir beide die gleichen Wurzeln haben. Deutsch und Englisch haben die gleichen Wurzeln.
Wurzeln?
Wurzeln.
Roots.
Wurzeln, nice.
Wurzeln.
Ja, die haben, wie sagt man, ein Venn-Diagramm, das heißt,
Ja.
aber Englisch hat auch Einflüsse von anderen Sprachen.
Das Deutsche auch ein bisschen, vom Französischen, vom Spanischen, vom Italienischen, aber und vom Lateinischen auch natürlich.
Ja.
Aber
Sie sind verwandt.
Die Überlappung zwischen Englisch und Deutsch ist größer als zum Beispiel Englisch und Französisch.
Ja.
Das ist gut.
Und Englisch und Amerikanisch.
Ja.
Die haben Wurzeln, aber man merkt es überhaupt nicht mehr.
Aber glaubst du, Deutsch ist, sprichst du eine andere Sprache oder nein?
Nein, ich kann ein bisschen Englisch,
Nein.
aber... Und manchmal versuche ich Amerikanisch, aber sehr selten.
Ich kann cool, Dude sagen, aber... Ja.
Jerkst du?
Treppenwitz? Ja, Jerkstore, ja.
Wo waren wir? Ich habe es vergessen. Entschuldigung. Das ist mein
Hochzeitsplanungen.
Hochzeitsplanungen.
Hochzeit ist ein blödes Wort, gell?
Blöde Wort?
Blödes Wort. High,
Ja.
Zeit, Time.
Ja, High Time, ja.
Das ist Hochzeit.
Hochzeit.
Das Wort Hochzeit.
Ja, ich liebe das Wort Hochzeit.
Ja.
Habest du eine Lieblingswort auf Deutsch?
Ein Lieblingswort. Eine gute Frage.
Ja.
Ich habe nicht vorbereitet für dieses Podcast.
Ich soll jeden
Gast?
Jeden Gast, ich soll fragen. Frühfrage.
Frühfrage?
Ich soll
Das hört sich wie ein
Frage
Joghurt an.
bevor
Bevor wir. Mein Lieblingswort in Deutsch. Ja, ich mag das Wort gell.
Gell?
Das ist sehr slangy, wie sagt man?
Oh ja. Das ist Dialekt.
Dialekt.
Ja.
Aber es ist ein Dialekt von Sie benutzen es in Österreich und in Süddeutschland. Das heißt, ich bin gewöhnt, Geld zu sagen. Und man wirft das in. Es ist ich weiß nicht, was das englische
Right.
alright oder okay. Man wirft es rein.
At the end.
At the end.
Wie wird das, ja?
Zum Beispiel, wir machen das, gell? Ein Affirmative.
Wir machen das, gell?
Gell?
Ja.
Ja.
Gell?
Aber in Norddeutschland ist das überhaupt nicht benutzt. Ich war im Schulaustausch in Hamburg, als ich 16 war.
Oh, wow.
Das habe ich mit
Und Hamburg ist ganz anderer Dialekt.
Hamburg ist ganz
Ja.
anderer Dialekt. Plattdeutsch. Aber sie haben Hochdeutsch mit mir geredet.
Ja, natürlich.
Und wir saßen um Frühstückstisch. Ich habe Deutsch geredet. Und dann habe ich gell gesagt. Und sie haben sich totgelacht. Die haben totgelacht. Weil für sie müsste es sein, weil dieses kleine englische Junge hat das ganz komische Wort von, es ist, als ob man ihn Amerika, howdy.
Yeah, okay.
Ein deutscher Junge kommt nach
Ja.
Amerika und sagt, my name is Klaus and I am enjoying this breakfast. Yeehaw!
Yeah. I'm like, yeah. Do you know how I can get to the central station, my brother? You know, yeah. So like, das ist perfekt. Das ist
Home-Slice?
Ja. Gell? Ja.
Und das Wort für mich ist das Ganze, die Erinnerung und auch wie Deutsch eigentlich ganz anders ist. In Norddeutschland ist es ganz anders von Süddeutschland, ist es ganz anders von hier. Und es ist sehr interessant, wenn man die...
Kann man Geld verwenden hier in Wien?
Ja, genau. Ja,
Okay,
sehr,
genau. Ist
sehr,
genau
sehr,
in Wien.
Ja.
Ist Wienisch.
Ja. Wienerisch.
Ja, und je mehr du in den Westen gehst, desto mehr wird's verkürzt. Also,
Gell.
no. Gr.
Gell.
Ja. Nein. Hast die Hausaufgaben gemacht? Gr.
Gell.
Ja. Also das Gell ist
Girl.
verkürzt.
Ja,
zu
mein
Gr.
Lieblingsausdruck, das ich hier in Wien gelernt habe, ist Gemma.
Gemma?
Oh, Gemma.
Gehen wir.
Ja.
Und das habe ich, vielleicht benutzen Sie es auch in Deutschland, aber das war neu.
Gemma wie das? Gemma?
Gemma, aber es ist eine Verkürzung von gehen wir.
Ah.
Gemma.
Gemma. Gemma.
Ja, jetzt recht Gemma und gehen wir.
Ja, super. Dialekt und wie sagt Slang oder
Ja. Dialekt und
Dialektwörter ist cool.
Umgangssprache, ja. Das ist das hochdeutsche Ausdruck, ja.
Ja.
Umgangssprache.
Ja, Umgangssprache.
Hochdeutsch.
Ja, Hochdeutsch. Sprichst du Hochdeutsch oder?
Hochdeutsch.
Ja.
Ich versuche,
Ja.
Hochdeutsch zu reden. Ja.
Generell, das ist eine gute Art und Weise, von allen verstanden zu werden, weil man Hochdeutsch als Schüler auch in der Schule lernt.
Ja.
Egal wo du bist, ob du jetzt in der Schweiz bist, in Österreich, in Deutschland oder in Südtirol, which is Italian. Das ist ja die italienische Seite.
Alles.
Die lernen
spricht
alle
Hochdeutsch.
Die lernen alle Hochdeutsch.
Hochdeutsch.
Die lernen alle Hochdeutsch.
Und weil Deutsch so einfach zu schreiben ist, weil man schreibt, was man hört,
Ja.
Ja.
das funktioniert bestens in Hochdeutsch.
Hochdeutsch.
Weil wenn man Gemma sagt,
Ja.
dann schreibt man Gemma. Aber wenn man schreibt, muss man gehen.
Ja, gehen wir. Gemma.
Das hat sich, seitdem du hier warst, in den 70er Jahren, hat sich das ein bisschen geändert auch. Also früher war es so, dass du als Lehrer zum Beispiel gezwungen worden bist vom System selber.
Gezwungen wird?
Forced.
Ah, okay.
Ja, du durftest nicht im Dialekt reden mit deinen Schülern.
Ja.
Du durftest nur in Hochdeutsch reden. Du hast nur Prüfungen in Hochdeutsch machen dürfen.
Mit deinen Freunden auch? Mit deinen Freunden in der Schule auch? Oder mit deinen Lehrern?
Ja, sobald der Lehrer da war,
Ja.
musste in Hochdeutsch gesprochen werden.
Ja.
Und dann in den 90er Jahren hat sich das langsam geändert, also ich war eine der ersten Generationen, wo den Lehrern erlaubt wurde, in ihrem eigenen Dialekt zu sprechen.
Ja.
Aber mit dem Schreiben muss man immer noch.
Ja, es kommt drauf an. Also wenn du die Prüfung so machst, dass es über zum Beispiel Wienerisch geht, dann musst du natürlich auf Wienerisch antworten. Aber wenn die Prüfung oben steht auf Hochdeutsch, dann musst du natürlich auf Hochdeutsch. Also ich weiß nicht, ob sie den Lehrplan schon wieder geändert haben. Ist ja schon eine Zeit her, dass ich in der Schule war. Aber das war früher eine erzwungene Maßnahme. Also das hat man...
Erzwungen.
Erzwungen.
Again, force, that's the same verb. Okay, erzwungen.
Ja.
Let me get that down.
Zwingen.
Erzwungene.
Swung. SW.
Zwingen.
Z.
Zwingen is forcing.
Z.
That's the regular
With a Z.
Zwingen.
Danke.
Zwingen.
That's right, yeah.
Ja.
Is to force. Zwingen is the verb to force.
Swingen verb.
And then erzwingen is the...
Das war toll. Danke, Danke. Das war. I think that we're getting. I think I'm getting a handle on how this is going to work as a show. How I'm going to be building week to week. I think that we have a thing. I like the idea that we're building word. I bring words, and I also leave with words. And every week I'll have a little list. And just
Are we back in English now?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I thought your German's improving. No, I think the idea of having a nominated favourite word is a good one, actually.
Yeah, favourite word before. Yeah, all of this is good. Well, Luke, thank you so much for doing this.
Absolute pleasure.
Is there anything you want the audience to know about or to do?
No,
Any call to action whatsoever?
No, if you ever see me advertised as performing, come and watch.
Yeah.
Unless I'm doing it in
German.
Well, particularly if I'm doing it in
Give
German.
them a couple months to figure it out.
Give a couple of months.
And you and Paul. Oh,
No, look, you have an Instagram now.
I do have an Instagram. It's called Luke Hacks
Nice.
because Hacker was unavailable.
Well, it's good. You're a hack. You're a hack comedian.
Well, that's right. That's right. No, absolutely. It's. Thanks for calling me a comedian.
No problem.
Better be a hack than another comedian.
No, I've really enjoyed your comedy, especially some of it.
Would you order it again?
In the Austrian tradition, I would order it again, and I did not throw up.
But not those bits.
Yeah. Not those.
Well, thank you very much. It's been an absolute joy. Good luck with the wedding planning.
And thanks for your. I'm not getting married. Did I speak wrongly? I'm not sure. I'm single. I don't know. My German is so weird.
Man, you need German classes. If you've accidentally proposed and you're accidentally getting married because you couldn't conjugate
She's been a bit clingy lately. It's been a lot with her.
Yeah.
She always wants me to buy a ring.
Yeah, it's like whoa.
She's not so keen on the time.
But I want to thanks on the. Thank you, my producer Paul. Thank you, Luke. This has been a joy. Thanks a lot, guys. Bing. Well done. Thanks
Nice.
a lot. Donkey Show.